I was born in 93. Yeah, the year which was most famous for the Bombay attacks. But that does not end there. My birthday is 11th September, or as the world knows it, 9/11. Pretty interesting, right? I don't know what happened. Like, मेरे पापा ने मांस मच्छी खा लिया होगा Saturday को. Something happened. There was this new person that was getting onboarded in our company, and I was the person who was going to onboard her, this Gen Z person. And I told her the exact same thing, to break the ice. Like 93, 9/11. And she was like, "For real, Mandar? You are a Virgo?" And I was like, yeah, that is one way of looking at it. Thank you. And then she continued. She was like, "You are such an Ankh." Do you guys know what Ankh is? Yeah? Ankh is short for uncle. How much time did you guys save? Deleting al. But I had no idea what Ankh meant. So I started thinking, what does this mean? And in my head, I was like, Ankh in Hindi means number. And we were just talking about my age. So this was her way of saying, age is just a number. I was like, yes, Ananya, thank you. Age is just a number, right? To which she just got up and left from the meeting that I had set up for her onboarding. That is when I realized something about Gen Zs. They look at people also like reels. They're like, 5 second दे रही हूँ मैं तेरे को अंक. When I'm bouncing, I'm a Scorpio. Gen Zs grew up watching reels, man. I grew up watching Shaktiman. Have you watched Shaktiman, anyone? Give me a cheer. Yeah. For kids, it's great. But as an adult, I watched Shaktiman recently and I realized something. I watched Shaktiman and I was like, ये तो pedophile है भाई. Yeah, you guys remember? The episode used to end and there was this section where he would just barge into children's bedrooms without consent. And he would go, "Choti choti magar, moti batein." The kid would be like, "मैं तो बस कान में पेंसिल डाल रहा था." This is real though. Millennial kids were dumb. There were real actual cases in 2000s when kids jumped out of their buildings saying that Shaktiman will save them. Back then I thought, ये क्या dumb लोग हैं. But now I know the complete story. They were not jumping so that Shaktiman would save them. They were jumping because of Shaktiman. This wouldn't ever work with Gen Zs, I think. है ना? Shaktiman would come into the room and like, "ठहरो, जानते नहीं, गांजा पीना बुरी बात है." And the Gen Z would be like, "Oh, this Ankh, bro. just take a drag, bro." I think that's why Shaktiman like fuck. But Shaktiman was only 10 minutes of the programming. The rest 20 minutes were ads. We couldn't skip. But I used to love those ads because we had jingles in our ads. आया नया उजाला, चार बूंदों वाला. कपड़ों के रेशों तक जाए, सफेदी का नया रंग लाए. That was the song. सफेदी का नया रंग was yellow. There was another ad though that used to come on TV that I used to love, which was Stay Free, which had a banger jingle also. That ad used to come on TV and my parents would immediately get awkward just like you guys. Yeah. My father would be like, "मदार पानी लेके आ जा, पानी जा." तो मैं पानी लेने जाता था बट मेरे को ad फिर भी सुनाई देता था because 2 BHK. Yeah, मेरे को सुनाई देता था वो ad and I used to love that and my parents never talked to me about this, that this is taboo and all. तो मैं घर पे जोर जोर से गाता था वो भी. I would be like, चलती हूँ ये हवा के संग लेके, दिल में ये उमंग लिए पापा पानी के भागे मन हवा के संग खाप को लिए. Created a great jingle, but they fucked up in the tagline. Stay free का tagline is अब वक्त है बदलने का. I generally pause here. Yeah, it breaks the flow, but it's so wrong, right? Stay free का tagline being अब वक्त है बदलने का. It's like IPL का tagline being अब वक्त है फुटबॉल देखने का. Man Force का tagline being अब वक्त है प्रेग्नेंट होने का. राहुल गांधी का tagline is अब की बार मोदी सरकार. Just weird. When I was little, my mom used to send me to get her pads, but she couldn't tell me what to get. So she would write it in a piece of paper, fold it and give it to me. मैं जाता था राजू भैया के पास, राजू मेडिकल्स में. उनको चिट्ठी देता था. राजू भैया पीछे जाके थे, एक गिफ्ट रैप करके मेरे को देते थे. वो गिफ्ट जाके मैं मम्मी को देता था. So for the longest time, I thought मम्मी का और राजू भैया का चक्कर चल रहा है. चिट्ठी जा रहा है, गिफ्ट आ रहा है. The thing is, Raju bhaiya was always very nice to me, you know. He used to give me chocolates every time I went. I used to like that guy. So I took that gift to my mom and I was like, Mom, अब वक्त है बदलने का. Try तो करो. You guys know who's the face of menstruation in India? Yeah, Akshay Kumar. It makes sense, right? Like a man being the face of a woman's problem in India. Because you know what happened to Deepika Padukone when she started talking about mental health? People started trolling her so bad. Like, ये इतनी पागल है, इसने रणवीर सिंह से शादी की है. ये क्या mental health के बारे में बता रही है? So it makes sense, Canada Kumar being the face of menstruation on so many levels actually, if you think about it. Because if you look closely, the flag of Canada does look like a used sanitary pad. Yeah, international anti-national हूँ मैं. Have seen that ad of Akshay Kumar? Huh? He comes on a cycle and addresses this person in front of the hospital. He's trying to relieve himself with a cigarette, and he comes in and like, first of all, they never addressed if this is Akshay Kumar or a character that he's playing. If you ask me, it wasn't Akshay Kumar. Because he comes in on a cycle, right? If it was Akshay Kumar, he wouldn't come on a cycle. He would come in on a Lotus. Thank you to the 4 people who got it. But he comes in on the cycle and he's like, और बंधु हॉस्पिटल के सामने खड़े रह के फूफू फूफू. Who talks like that? So like, what's your name, sir? Akash. If I come on stage and I'm like, और आकाश first row में बैठ के किकी. The बंधु is like, हाँ बीवी को अस्पताल में भर्ती किया है. To that any decent person would reply, कैसी है? ठीक है. Is she okay? Do you need any help? Not Rajiv Hariom Bhatia. He's like, ये जेब में क्या है तेरे? सिगरेट? देख इस पे क्या लिखा है? मौत लिखी है, मौत. और इस पे पैड निकालता है वो. और इस पे जिंदगी. And that is the master stroke of this ad, because that is when you realize as consumers, for both for death and life, you are the ones paying taxes. Yeah. I don't think that the sutta is the problem here. I think the basic necessity for women costs money in the country. That's the problem. Can we all agree? Yeah. वैसे इस लॉजिक से तो कहीं पे भी जा सकता है ना अक्षय कुमार. देखो पानी पूरी क्यों खा रहा है? भाभी जी को ले कर देना. हीरोगिरी मसाला पूरी खाने में नहीं है दोस्त. म्यूचुअल फंड क्यों ले रहे हैं? भाभी जी को ले कर देना. Yeah, crazy man. I think next time he goes to a बंधु should be like, वो आपका आम चूसने वाला दोस्त है ना, उसको बोलो ना कुछ करने के लिए. मेरे को सुट्टा मारने दो. All I was trying to do was give my mother life. She gave me a lot of great things in life like education and all, but I still did engineering. That is completely on me. I was a very bad student. The only good thing about me was मेरे को थोड़ा इंग्लिश आता था. हाँ, that is all. मैं मैथ्स का पेपर भी इंग्लिश में लिख देता था. या वो पास भी कर देते थे मेरे को, because they were like ये वापस नहीं आना चाहिए हमारे पास चेकिंग के लिए, इसको पास करो. All the other students used to get numbers on their mark sheet. I used to get special characters like star, topi, AT-KT. I had no hopes of getting a job ever, but I did get a job, yeah, in one of the most prestigious IT companies. It was a 500 people walk-in drive, and 3 people were shortlisted. I was one of them. The panel asked the first person, "What coding language do you know?" And they were like, "Python." They asked the second person, and she was like, "C++." They asked me, I was like, "English." They still selected me, yeah. बिकॉज आई थिंक 12th फेल देखा है सबने, है ना. 12th फेल में वो जो बाद में होता है ना वो डिस्कशन, आई थिंक कुछ तो वैसा हुआ होगा. दे वुड बी लाइक, अगर इसको जॉब नहीं दिया तो किसको. सॉफ्टवेयर स्किल्स नहीं है इसके पास, पर सॉफ्ट स्किल्स है. आई वॉज सो हैप्पी आई गॉट अ जॉब इन दिस ब्यूटिफुल बिल्डिंग. नीचे से ऊपर तक कांच का बिल्डिंग, 5th फ्लोर पूरा कैंटीन, बालकनी से नीचे फाउंटेन है, सामने रिट्स कार्ल्टन बन रहा है. I was so happy. I went to my happy place, you know. I was started singing and dancing. I was like, चलती हूँ ये हवा के संग लेके दिल में ये. I was very happy. But 1.5 years later, I was standing in the same balcony, looking down and thinking, मैं इधर से कूदा तो शक्तिमान मुझे बचा तो नहीं लेगा. And this voice inside my head was like, अब वक्त है बदलने का. Thank you so much for listening to me. You have been a lovely audience. Please welcome back and host Ashwin.